Welcome back to the channel. U.S. Rare Coins News, Top 1. The Washington Quarter Dollar from 1776 to 1976 is not just a coin, it's a celebration of American independence, a symbol of history, and for collectors, a fascinating treasure that carries value far beyond its face. At first glance, it looks like a regular quarter, but once you start examining it, the details reveal why it's so special. This coin was minted to commemorate 200 years of American freedom, which is why it carries the dual date 1776 to 1976 on the front. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of President George Washington, but it's the reverse design that truly captures attention. Instead of the usual eagle, it features a striking depiction of a colonial drummer boy alongside a torch and a victory wreath, a design that instantly makes it stand out in any collection. Every line, every detail was carefully struck to celebrate a monumental moment in history. What makes this coin particularly intriguing is that it was produced at multiple mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The San Francisco coins, especially, were struck as proof coins with mirror-like finishes, making them highly desirable to collectors. Meanwhile, high-quality uncirculated quarters from Philadelphia and Denver, with sharp details and original luster, also attract attention because most circulated examples have noticeable wear. Collectors are especially drawn to the rare varieties and minting errors that occasionally occur. Some Washington bicentennial quarters show double dies, where the lettering or numbers appear slightly duplicated. Others have off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet errors that make the coin unusual. These imperfections, rather than reducing value, often make the coin far more desirable and collectible. Even a small variation in weight, shape, or design can turn a common-looking quarter into a rare gem. Condition is everything when it comes to this coin. While millions were minted, most were used in daily transactions, leaving wear and scratches behind. A coin that still has strong detail, clear dates, and a bright original finish can instantly become a highlight of any collection. Proof versions, with their deep mirror-like surfaces, are particularly sought after, especially if they are flawless. What makes this coin even more exciting is that it is still out there waiting to be discovered. Many people have them tucked away in drawers, old collections, or jars of loose change. A careful inspection could reveal a coin that is more valuable than most people realize. That is the thrill for collectors, the possibility of finding a hidden treasure in what seems like an ordinary coin. Top 2. The 1981 Washington Quarter Dollar may look like an ordinary coin, something you might find loose in a jar or forgotten in your wallet, but for collectors, this small piece of metal carries a lot more than 50 cents of value. At first glance, it's the familiar design, George Washington's profile on the front and the majestic eagle on the back. But what makes the 1981 quarter so intriguing is the story behind its minting, the varieties, and the rare errors that can make it worth far more than its face value. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency for decades, but each year carries subtle differences that coin collectors watch carefully. The 1981 quarter was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and while millions were made for circulation, certain versions are highly sought after. The Philadelphia and Denver coins are your standard circulation coins, while San Francisco struck proof versions with a sharper, more reflective finish intended for collectors. These proof coins are often the first ones to attract attention because of their mirror-like luster and flawless appearance, but what really excites collectors about the 1981 Washington quarter are the rare varieties and minting errors that sometimes occur. A double die error, where the lettering or the numbers appear slightly doubled, can turn a standard coin into a valuable find. Off-center strikes are another fascinating error. If the design is misaligned during minting, it creates a visually unusual coin that collectors crave. There are also die cracks, where small raised lines appear across the coin, and clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a minting mishap. Even subtle differences, like slight variations in the thickness of the rim or the sharpness of the relief, can make a coin more desirable. Condition plays a huge role in determining value. Most 1981 quarters were used in daily transactions, which means finding one in pristine condition is rare. Coins that retain their original shine, have crisp details, and show no signs of wear immediately stand out. Proof-like coins or uncirculated examples, especially those from San Francisco, are particularly prized. A coin that looks almost as if it just left the mint can command a premium among collectors. One of the most exciting things about the 1981 Washington quarter is that many are still out there, waiting to be discovered. Whether in a jar of old coins, a drawer, or a forgotten collection, it's possible to stumble upon a rare variety or error. For collectors, the thrill lies in inspecting coins carefully, studying the details, and discovering a hidden treasure that others may have overlooked. Top 3. The 1982 Washington quarter dollar may look like an ordinary coin you find in your pocket or loose change, but for collectors, it's a coin full of surprises and hidden value. At first glance, it carries the familiar profile of George Washington on the front and the soaring eagle on the reverse, a design that has been cherished for decades. But the story behind the 1982 quarter, its varieties, errors, and rarity, makes it far more interesting than its face value suggests. This coin was minted during a time when millions of quarters were produced for circulation, yet not all of them are the same. The 1982 Washington quarter was struck in Philadelphia and Denver, and while most were intended for everyday use, some high-quality examples stand out. San Francisco also produced proof versions with flawless, mirror-like surfaces, striking sharp details that collectors love. These proof coins were never meant to enter circulation, making them rarer and more sought after than the standard coins. Collectors are particularly drawn to the rare varieties and minting errors that sometimes occur in this series. One of the most exciting features to watch for is the double die error, where the numbers or lettering appear slightly doubled due to a minting anomaly. Off-center strikes are another fascinating variation, where the coin's design is shifted from the center, creating a visually unusual piece. Die cracks, appearing as small raised lines, or clipped planchets, where part of the coin is missing, are additional errors that can dramatically increase the value of a coin. Even subtle differences in the rim, lettering, or design details can make certain quarters more desirable to collectors. Condition is a critical factor when it comes to the 1982 Washington quarter. Most coins from this year were heavily circulated, so finding one in pristine condition is rare. Coins that retain their original luster, with crisp lettering, sharp details, and no scratches or wear, stand out immediately. Proof-like coins or uncirculated examples are especially prized, as their flawless appearance makes them a centerpiece in any collection. High-quality coins often attract attention in auctions and private sales, making them a true collector's item. What makes this coin even more exciting is that many of them are still out there, waiting to be discovered. They could be tucked away in old coin rolls, jars, or forgotten collections, meaning the opportunity to find a valuable variety or error is still very real. For coin collectors, the thrill comes from carefully inspecting each coin, understanding its nuances, and uncovering those rare details that can make a common-looking quarter extremely valuable. Top 4. The 1983 Washington quarter dollar might seem like just another coin in your pocket, but for collectors, it holds a hidden world of history, rarity, and value. On the surface, it carries the familiar design we all know, George Washington's profile on the front and the soaring eagle on the reverse. But when you look closer, you realize that this seemingly ordinary coin can be much more than 50 cents, it's a collectible, and sometimes a very valuable one. What makes the 1983 quarter so intriguing is its place in modern coinage. By this time, millions of quarters were produced for circulation in Philadelphia and Denver, but not all coins are equal. Circulation coins were meant for everyday use, so most have noticeable wear. However, high-quality uncirculated coins from this year, especially those that retain original mint luster and crisp details, are highly sought after by collectors. Proof coins from San Francisco are particularly valuable because they were never intended for circulation. Their mirror-like surfaces and sharp designs make them a standout in any collection. Collectors also pay close attention to minting errors and unusual varieties, which can dramatically increase a coin's value. Some 1983 Washington quarters show double die errors, where letters or numbers appear slightly doubled due to minting anomalies. Others might have off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, creating a unique and visually striking coin. Die cracks, where tiny raised lines appear across the surface, or clipped planchets, where part of the coin is missing, are rare errors that can make an ordinary coin into a prized collectible. Even small differences in lettering or rim thickness can make a difference for serious collectors. condition is a critical factor when it comes to these coins. Many 1983 quarters were circulated heavily, so finding one with sharp details, no scratches, and original mint shine is not easy. Coins that retain their luster, with clean surfaces and crisp lettering, are far more desirable than their worn counterparts. Proof-like coins or uncirculated examples from this year often attract attention in auctions and private sales because of their flawless appearance. What makes the 1983 Washington quarter even more exciting is the possibility that some are still sitting unnoticed in coin jars, old collections, or drawers. A coin that looks ordinary to most people could be a rare variety or error waiting to be discovered. For collectors, that thrill, the chance to uncover a hidden treasure, is part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. Top 5. The 1984 Washington quarter dollar might look like a common coin, something you pass by every day, but for collectors, it's far more than just 50 cents. On the surface, it's the familiar design we all recognize, George Washington's dignified profile on the front and the soaring eagle on the back. Yet, behind that ordinary appearance lies a world of history, rarity, and hidden value that can turn a simple quarter into a collector's treasure. By 1984, millions of Washington quarters were minted for circulation in Philadelphia and Denver, making them seem common. However, not all coins are created equal. The quality, condition, and subtle variations of each coin can make a significant difference in value. Coins that were carefully preserved with minimal wear, retaining their original mint luster and sharp details, immediately attract collectors. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are particularly sought after, with their deep mirror-like finish and flawless strike that make them stand out in any collection. These coins were never meant for circulation, so their rarity alone gives them an advantage over standard issues. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1984 Washington quarter is the variety of minting errors that can appear. Double die errors, where the letters or numbers appear slightly doubled, are highly prized. Off-center strikes create coins with the design shifted from the center, producing a unique and visually striking appearance. Die cracks, which show as tiny raised lines across the coin, and clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing, are additional examples of rare errors that can dramatically increase a coin's value. Even subtle differences in lettering, rim thickness, or design details can make a coin much more desirable to collectors. Condition is one of the most critical factors when determining the worth of a 1984 quarter. Many coins were used in daily transactions, leaving behind scratches, dings, or worn features. Coins that maintain their original shine, with crisp lettering and design, are far more valuable. High-grade uncirculated examples, especially proof-like coins, can be true highlights in a collection, often fetching significant interest in auctions and private sales. What makes this coin particularly exciting for collectors is that many are still out there, tucked away in drawers, jars, or old collections. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance could hold a rare error or variety that dramatically increases its worth. For enthusiasts, discovering such coins is a thrill, turning a simple hobby into an exciting treasure hunt. So the next time you see a 1984 Washington quarter dollar, take a closer look. Examine the date, the mint mark, and every detail of the design. Check for double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual features. That careful inspection could reveal a coin worth far more than you think. Most circulated 1984 Washington quarters are worth only a few cents to a few dollars above face value. High-quality uncirculated coins and proof examples can range from several tens to a few $100s. Rare error coins and top-grade specimens have sold for several $1,000s, and in exceptional auction cases, some have reached over $10,000.